Okay, we will now call this regular city council meeting to order. Today is Thursday, September 26, 2024, and it is 5:48 p.m. Let the record show that council members Trujillo, Graham, and Councilwoman Seals are present. We'll rise for an invocation from Councilman Graham and a pledge of allegiance from Councilwoman Seals.
Father, we are so grateful to be here and in this meeting, and that we ask for your wisdom and knowledge and understanding on what we need to do to make the right decisions, to be in your will. Father, we ask you to bless Pecos and to keep your hedge of protection around it, Father. And our need for you is so great. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At this time, if you have your cell phone, please make sure it's on silent. Are there any public comments? Yes, ma'am.
National Night Out. Sorry.
That's what I was going to say. Someone's going to talk about it?
Yes, National Night Out will be Tuesday. It's going to be from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. and we're going to do the one for City Hall and City Hall parking lot. So we would appreciate you guys coming out to attend.
Y'all going to block it off so other people can park there?
Yes, ma'am.
It'll be a fun night.
It should be, yes, ma'am.
Are there any other public comments? Okay. We'll go on to our consent agenda. Approve the minutes of the September 12th, 2024 regular city council meeting. Approve the minutes of the September 17th, 2024 special city council meeting, and review the expenditure report.
Hey Charles, on the expenditure report, it seemed like the first 20 pages is a lot of checks to engineering firms, like 8 or 9 different engineering firms. There's just a special month or something, we have a bunch of, or can we look at bringing an in-house engineer and maybe cut back on our engineering fees and pay for his salary?
Possibly. The difficult thing that we look at, having an in-house engineer would be great. There's some of the projects that probably are not within the scope of what an engineer would do in their specialty, because most of this is going to have to do with our wellfield projects, our landfill project, our wastewater treatment plant. We have major projects that are going on right now. I'm not saying that it wouldn't help. I'm saying we don't have an engineer now, so I can't personally tell you whether or not that would help or to what extent that would help. Something that we can explore.
I would like somebody like Curtis Wilson.
Oh, I don't disagree. I don't disagree. I'm sure that Kelvin and I both would be real happy to have.
Absolutely. He was here today, so absolutely.
No, absolutely. It's something that we can explore, Randy. We don't have it budgeted right now, so we're having to outsource all of the engineering.
I'm just, if we do a study or something, but like you say, it might not be feasible, to get him enough work to cut out some of the other engineering firms. I know there's a lot of things he can't do, like you said.
On page 14. The replacement of some curb and gutter and street maintenance. Is there a reason for that?
Which page?
Page 14, replacement of curb and gutter and street.
So, Mayor Council, Holly Jaraki, we replaced some curb and gutter that were causing damage to the turn radius and would have affected the turn radius even further, causing the road to sink. And we chose those 3 on the main thoroughfare. And then we also addressed another curb and gutter on a property that was creating a sinkhole on one side of the curb. We thought there was a possibility of it affecting the roadway. We found when we removed it that it actually wasn't, but it was necessary. And so we've been trying to address these discreetly. Well, because we can't get to all of them, so we're looking at the worst case.
Worst case, okay. All right, thank you. You're welcome.
Was it expenditure to Tommy Gonzalez? Is he still coming over? Y'all had some more training?
There's a lot of training. Yeah, he's done a lot more. He's working with the team both remotely. He's supposed to be here on Monday, the 30th again. He's working with the goal teams like we had talked about, and they're progressing. They're having their meetings. Griffin is the one that's overseeing and handling a lot of that right now. He's putting out a lot of work product that he is sharing with the teams. They're working on the dashboard right now to get that finished and finalized. And he's meeting regularly right now, virtually with all of the leads for all 8 of our goals that we have.
Okay. Thank you.
And a slight correction on that, it's not the 30th anymore, it's going to be October 7th.
Oh, that's right. We moved it by a week. I forgot about that.
So just before we leave.
Right before we leave, yes, ma'am.
Show y'all how to add your TML.
Yes. We may need help. At least some of us.
Any other questions? If not, I'll make do you? Okay. Okay. I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second. I'll let Val. I have a motion from Councilwoman Sills, a second from Councilwoman Trujillo to approve the consent agenda. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Let the record show the motion carries. Go to item F1, update on upcoming community events. Edward De Leon, Marketing and Communications Coordinator.
Yes. Just 1 second.
Mayor and Council, Edward De Leon, Marketing Communications Coordinator. Just FYI, I'm going to talk a lot. I'm sorry in advance. But before I begin, I just want to say, big thanks to you guys, the city admin, of course the city staff who make these events just very successful, and all the participants and volunteers who are always there. Just being there, really, it makes a difference. So with that being said, I'm really excited to share some upcoming events with you. And we have a lot, so again, bear with me. So first up, we have our Pecos, New Mexico to Pecos, Texas River cleanup this Saturday, September 28th from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. It is also known as El Día del Río y Camino, which is translated to Day of the River and Road. This event is really a partnership with the Upper Pecos Watershed Association and several organizations along the Pecos River, like the Pecos Canyon State Park, Santa Fe National Forest, Keeps Carlsbad Beautiful, and many more. A lot of people say that there's not a lot of water in that river, and it's true, but I don't know if you could kind of see right there in that top left picture, there's some water there. And along the way, we picked up like tires, mufflers, bought a lot of bottles really, and we just got a lot of debris on the way, and it was a great success. So again, we'll be meeting here at 8 a.m. at City Hall to hand out gloves, grabblers, safety vests, trash liners, and we also encourage all the participants who wear closed-toe shoes, pants, and long-sleeve shirts, because you may never know what you run into, right? The actual cleaning location is about half a mile east of the Colley Road on I-20. That way, I'm sure. I don't know my northeast, southwest. It's that way though, I think. We'll be providing breakfast, and then we're offering double community service hours. So if anyone needs community service hours, these are great events to do, because if you work the 4 hours, we'll give you 8. So I know National Night Out was mentioned earlier. It's okay, we're good. So it's happening on Tuesday, October 1st. That's next week from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. here at City Hall, one parking lot at City Hall. This is a nationwide event that brings communities and law enforcement together to promote safety and unity. We'll have booths from local businesses and organizations, and you can meet law enforcement officers from Reeves County Emergency Service Districts, Pecos Police Department, PBTISD, Police Department, Reeves County Sheriff's Office, state troopers, and more. And we're actually going to have a U.S. Marshal there as well, so it's pretty neat.
Saturday on YouTube.
So again, that's 6 tonight. We welcome everyone. We're gonna have food vendors and all that jazz. So we're gonna have DJ too. So it's gonna be all fun and dandy. And so next up, we have our 2024 fall biannual cleanups. I know a lot of cleanups, but we love them. And this one is really, it's a great opportunity for residents and families to come together and clean various areas around town. We'll be meeting here at City Hall at 8 a.m. for supplies like gloves and trash bags, again, the safety vest. And we always encourage participants to wear the closed-toe shoes and pants and long-sleeve shirts. We'll be providing breakfast and lunch for that one. And again, the community service hours are offered as well. Again, if you do the 4 hours of work, we'll give you 8. And as another little incentive, you have the chance to compete for our Treasure Trash Trophy. I don't know if you can kind of see on the top left of that picture. It's a really neat trophy. I don't have it with me because the Snyder family, the winners of the 2024 spring biannual cleanup, they have it with them, so they get to keep it until the next cleanup, which is they should be returning it on October 19th. Again, the winning team just gets their name on the trophy and keeps it until the next cleanup. So it's really fun. Just a great way, just a friendly competition for everyone. Alrighty, now we have our third annual 5K Pink Fun Run. That's happening on Saturday, October 26th, and that's going to be starting at Cyclone Ballparks with the run kicking off at 9 a.m. Of course, all funds will be are raised to go to the Pecos Area Cancer Foundation. Participants can choose to walk, jog, or run the 5K course. The registration fee is $20 for adults and $5 for children, but it includes a swag bag and an event T-shirt. And yeah, I think I see the one right there, top right. And you can always register online, and if you can't do that, we'll be there in person, ready to help you get registered. Again, it's just an awesome event. I love doing it. Our staff loves doing it. So it's an amazing event just to help out the community. And then lastly, I want to share the Merchants Halloween Town Trick or Treat. That is, so we're working with the chamber to continue this tradition going. I haven't posted anything yet, so you guys are probably the first ones to know. So this is happening on Thursday, October 31st from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. Again, we're just inviting all Pecos businesses to hand out treats as kids and families trick-or-treat around town. Again, it's just a fantastic way to engage with the community and celebrate Halloween. And then if anyone is interested, we'll have an online registration available online, and always you can visit us at City Hall or give us a call. And if any of these events interest you and you need more information on how to sign up or on the sponsor or anything, just give us a call here at City Hall at 432-445-2421. Visit us here at City Hall at 115 West 3rd Street, or check out our website, www.pecostx.gov, or find us on Facebook or any other social media. We have a lot happening. We have lots of events. We're just grateful to bring the community together in any way we can. So thank you all for your support as always, and I can't wait to see everyone at these events.
Awesome, great October event.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Whew.
Be well done.
Thank you, yes.
Thank you, Terry.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we'll go on to item F2. Discuss, consider resolution 24-09-03R, a resolution approving change order number 1 from Lee Tech Services LLC for the County Road 404 waterline extension in the amount of $37,100. Calvin Ridgely, Public Works Director.
Good afternoon, Mayor, Council. Kelvin Ridgely, Director of Public Works. What you have in front of you is a resolution to basically finalize the Madera Valley transfer, which will make it complete. The change order represents an extension of an 8-inch line, a little less than 900 feet, that just provides a little more infrastructure on that side of town for future growth. So if there are any questions, I am willing to answer
This
those.
will be the final on this project?
So that's the final piece of the project. The final piece of the
It
project.
is the final.
Okay.
We're-
I was gonna say, did he answer my question?
And
We are ready to, it's already gonna cut over and residents will start tapping into Pecos water.
So absolutely, we are in motion. There was roughly about 75 meters that we needed to change, And right now, I think we're at 64 with 11 needing verification. So once those are verified, then those will be put in roughly a day or so.
You need by verification.
Because the addresses are just not matching up. So we're having problems with the address just to make sure that we're in the right place. But other than that, everything for the Madera Valley is complete.
Can you sell back to Madera Valley their meters?
I'm sorry?
Sell back to Madera Valley their meters?
No, those are their meters. So we don't own them. We put in our meters. Yes,
We're
sir.
not giving their meters back to them?
No, their guys are taking them out. Their guys removed them, so they have them already. Absolutely.
Any questions? Not, I'll make a motion to approve resolution number 24-09-004 in the amount of $37,100 as presented.
Second.
We have a motion from Councilwoman Seals, a second from Councilman Graham, to approve Resolution 24-09-03R as presented. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Let the record show the motion carries. Item F3, discuss, consider Resolution 24-09-04R, a resolution authorizing the city manager to appoint an evaluation committee for bids received for the Town of Pecos City Landfill Trench 6 and 7 construction project. Calvin Ridgely, Director of Public Works.
Again, good afternoon, Mayor, Council. Kelvin Ridgely, Director of Public Works. As the mayor stated, this is going to be approval so that Mr. Lino can put together a committee to do the scoring for the trenches 6 and 7 for the landfill. That committee will have some Pecos staff, and it would also have Park Hill staff and Smith Co staff.
Have they you already received the bids so far, or you haven't gone out for bids?
So no, we do have the bids. We're going to be scoring those bids.
Okay.
Yes, sir. And this is standard, what we do for just about every project.
I don't ever remember approving a committee to
We-
evaluate.
We normally do that internally. There was
Right.
a request on this one because of TCEQ wanting us to do it this way.
Right.
It's the only reason for the difference than usual. Normally, it's something that we do in-house.
Well, that's what I thought, so I was
Yes.
wondering why.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, this is kind of a TCEQ request on it.
Okay.
This is my first time doing that as well. Because normally it's in-house, and normally we don't ask for approval.
Just before never
Absolutely.
seeing us approving that
No,
evaluation.
this is a TCEQ request. They ask that we do it through a resolution.
Well, Joaquin Smith is involved in, are they already on the?
Is that a conflict? Are they part of the project?
They were one of the lead agencies on it.
But they're not one of the
They're not
bids?
No.
bidding on it. They were the
Okay.
engineering firm on the project.
That's right.
This is the construction and the construction side of it, of digging it out and lining it the way that it needs to. And their expertise is probably vital in scoring these, so to help us if there's any questions that we need or anything that doesn't make any sense. I mean, I can tell you that of the evaluation committee that I've put together, there's probably only one or two of us that will have any landfill experience. So TCQ asked that you involve the engineers this time on this. And I think it strictly relates to solid waste now. One of the requirements when we go out and permit our new landfill, it's probably we're going to have to go through the same process again.
Is TECQ funding part of this is the reason they can come in and tell us?
No, because they're the regulatory agency for the state. They tell you what you have to do, not what we want to do. Yeah, they can shut us down, they can fine us, they're the regulatory agency for the state.
I make a motion that we approve resolution 2409. No.
04.
04.
I'll second. Have a motion from Councilman Graham, a second from Councilwoman Seals to approve Resolution 24-09-04R as presented. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Let the record show the motion carries.
Thank you all.
Item F4, discuss, consider ordinance 24-09-01, an ordinance modifying the master fee schedule. First reading. Heather Ramirez, Assistant City Manager.
Mayor and council, in your packets, you'll see the ordinance for the master fee schedule, and you'll see the red line as well. So you'll see that there's no changes to our water and sewer rates, but if the only change is when you go down to the second page is our bulk water sales. I know we've been meeting and talking about the bulk water rates for a few months now, and we decided to tier that, so you're gonna see that reflection, that change inside this ordinance. In that same box, you'll see on the bottom where we added disabled veterans class, I'm gonna add the word senior, because we already have senior citizens. This is the same rate for that, but just to kind of clear it up, you'll see on the second reading, I'm gonna add the word senior citizens.
Because it's someplace else further down.
Yes, it is further down, but just to clear it up.
I just have a question. What, above the red lines, has residential, commercial, and then it has residential, commercial outside. Is that outside the city limits?
Outside.
Yes,
city
ma'am.
limits, yes,
Okay.
That is for that. And then on page 3, this will
And
be,
we can add that if you think it would clarify. So that's-
you want me to put outside city limits?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll add that too. Okay, noted. And then on page 3, it's the bottom half of that. It's the bottom half of our sewer chart. We added the senior disabled veteran, and of course you have to show proper documentation, but there's we were already charging that. This is just kind of cleaning it up. And then converted man camp. We have the converted man camp also on the water. On deposit rates, you're gonna see a lot of mark-throughs of removing fees. It's because we don't charge these fees. They're in here, but there's nobody on those. They're either commercial, residential, government. That's how we have them classified. And as you move on to page 4, you'll see that we struck out a 1.5 inch water meter. We don't have that size here.
Phasing it out or whatever.
Yes.
We're no longer utilizing one.
Yes, so just removing that. On page 5, we have been talking about our solid waste, which is our trash collection rates, which is not a utility. It's a service that we offer. So we are going to be increasing that for inside the city limits. We're gonna go from $23.50 to $25 a month. So it'll be a $1.50 increase. And of course, if you're outside the city limits, we're going from $60 to $75 for once a week pickup. And it's very rare that outside the city limits needs additional pickup, but if they do, that's increasing from 100 to 125.
Do they have the same size metal dumpsters or what? Do they have that?
Yeah, I believe it's the 3-yard.
Or is it the largest?
No,
It is, they don't have, yeah, they're 3 and 4 yard containers, metal containers.
There's some people in town that need that size too.
Yes, ma'am.
I was like, and then the same for on the commercial side, you'll see the increase in there, and it depends on if it's 1-time pickup, 2-time pickup, 3-time pickup. Also new in our master fee schedule is now that we have for our roll-offs, we have 30-yard containers and 15-yard containers. So you'll see the 30-yard containers and their fees are in here. And then if you keep going to page 6, you'll see the 15-yard roll-off rental fees. We had just one rate across for all of it, and yes, and splitting that up. And I do want to note, I should have noted it from the beginning, but staff and all the departments, we've been working on these rates and collecting information for about, I asked Cyrus just before we started, she said for about 10 months now. So, landfill tipping fees, go ahead.
Let me make sure I'm back on to a volumetric rate. on the, like, the disabled veteran class, there's a difference as it goes up, but then on the next page, up at the top, it's all the same price. Why does one go up and the other?
One is
Oh, that's
water,
the sewer.
one is sewer.
So that's just,
The sewer is standard rate.
oh, okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Gotcha.
So volumetric one on the other one is going to be water, whereas on the second page, that other one is sewer. Moving the sewer out of standard rate. We have not modified the sewer rates for a
Okay.
while now.
Okay. And then we'll move on to page 7. Of course, we offer the residents a one-time free drop-off at the landfill with your water bill. So this is just kind of cleaning up the verbiage there, where it's going to be one load of up to 2 tons per calendar month when you bring your water bill. If you move a little bit down on page 7, we have a permit and easement rate schedule. We were discussing of actually removing this rate schedule and just writing probably the word negotiable, so that putting negotiable.
Why would you do that? I mean, just curious. What's the thought process behind it?
So that, you want to speak on that, Parker?
Sorry, this was
The easement, removing the rates and writing negotiable.
because that's been on the books for a long time, and
And prices has
more
gone up.
recently, we've been using the rates from the UT schedule, which are much better for us as the landowner. So I would say anyone that needs an easement, it should be negotiable regardless, and not have just a flat fee on our fee schedule.
Plus, there's
I think that'd
multiple
be
types,
better.
there's multiple types of easements also.
Right.
And so each one should be treated differently, not just with a blanket. This was done whenever it was strictly going to be kind of like a land use damages easement. But there's a lot of utility easements that they have to look at, utility line. So I think if we use something that's standardized across the state, at least as a basis of it, and it gives us a little more negotiating power from that standpoint.
Would we have to make a motion including changing that to negotiable?
As long as we are all on the same page, and when we have it at the second reading, if it reflects what everybody.
Okay, so this is first reading?
Yes, this is the first reading.
Well, easements are different sizes too, with width.
They come in different sizes. Some get paid by the rod, some by the square footage or acreage. Some are above ground, some below ground. Some are worth more than others. Depends on what they want to use it for. Is it perpetual? Is it temporary? I just think it's better not to be locked into a flat fee on the schedule.
All that's covered by the different deals by the UT.
Yes, they have pretty much their price point for anything, which is a pretty good baseline for us to follow. Not that we're required to.
It's a
but-
26-page schedule.
But on occasion, I think we have discussed even higher.
We have.
If it's something useful and we want to work with someone, we can go lower. If it's something that, we think we need to make our money off of, we have the negotiating power, we can go above it. I mean, we're not saying we're bound by any particular schedule or price point, but everything's negotiable. I would prefer to get it off the books as this flat fee.
Okay. Moving on to page 8. On the other permits section, there's quite a few changes in here. I don't know if y'all have had a chance to review all the changes. There is an increase, for example, in our temporary non-conforming use permits up to $500. And of course, this is because we have to go and inspect annually and make sure changes haven't been made. We added some verbiage on things that you can appeal to council if for any reason permits are denied on certain ones. And then to call a zoning board of adjustment meeting, planning and zoning meeting. We have added an administrative plat approval and final filing fee. It used to say actual cost plus 10%. We've been doing the $250 across the board, so this is kind of cleaning up some of that verbiage. There's more changes. We have miscellaneous community development fees. We have increased this, for example, like our demolition fee, it's to $100. We're increasing our drilling permit fee from $4,000 to $5,000. We did add some verbiage of a permit's denied. Since we increased the permit to $500, if it's denied, it's only going to be $200 and you'll get $300 back. And that's because we still have to call a meeting and the fees, it's to recoup the fees. Moving on to page 10. This is for our business fees, which is usually the majority of this has to do with food vendors or food establishment health permits. You'll see the increases in there. One of the major increases was our temporary health permit fee for special events that last 3 days or more. We're increasing from $50 to $350. But if you show proof of a tax report that's been submitted to the state comptrollers to show that you are, the city, Town of Pecos City is collecting taxes, then it's only $75.
On the temporary health permit fee for special events of 3 days or more, is there a max on that?
I'm not sure if there's a max. Did we discuss a max?
Because this then be for a year or 2 years or 3 years?
So these are for the, like for the rodeo, and the rodeo, we used to just charge $50 for the full time of the rodeo days, which would be Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Instead of doing that, we're doing the one fee
Per event.
for
So
per
it's
event.
Per event.
Per
Yes.
event.
Mhm.
Okay, yeah. I guess the second one doesn't have events in there. Oh, I've got Sue's.
For special
Okay,
event.
and the next one down,
Mm-hmm.
it's got food vendor located on leased land and $50 per year, and then food vendor located on leased land, $500. It's something's missing in that. It's like a duplicate, but the amounts are.
Yeah, it goes up, yeah, it's 350 and then 3,500 and then
Do you see that, Cindy?
the additional 50 and then an
So
additional 500.
what's the difference in the two?
10, so.
On
I'm
10?
sorry, I didn't, which one were we talking about?
Food vendor located on
So it'll
this
go
land.
up $50 a year, so it starts off, now it's gonna be $350. Next year, it's gonna be $400.
Yeah, but the next one says
The next
3,500.
one says the same
exact verbiage.
So one is if they're leasing on a month-to-month basis, and the next one down is an annual basis.
Okay.
We need to know.
So we need to put that monthly and annual. Once monthly and once yearly.
Okay.
Okay.
I kind of thought that, but I was like, okay, it doesn't say that.
Good catch. And annual. And it should say per month.
So just going back up to the temporary health for 3 or more days is $350, but the carnival fee is only $250. Isn't the carnival usually here for more than 3 days?
Here's the carnival one.
Sorry, I'm sorry, you didn't.
Back to the temporary health permit fee for 3 or more days is $350, but the carnival application is only $250, and they're generally here for more than 3 days, aren't they?
So those are 2 separate permits. So they'll pay the carnival fee permit, and then they still have to come in and get
Oh,
the
so
health
they
permit,
have
so
to
we
do
can go
that.
and
Okay.
inspect. Yes.
Any questions on page 10?
Josh, we went down from sexually oriented businesses from 300,000 to 30,000.
Per event.
Per event.
I know, why that decrease, that much of a decrease?
Well, because we believe that when it was initially done, it was oversight and extra zero was added because the annual permit is $30,000 and the per event was $300. And I could see a permanent one being $300 and the other one $30, and after talking about it and looking at it, we think that it was motioned and passed that way, but it was meant to be $30,000.
Can we increase that business annual fee, or does it have to stay at the 30,000?
No, ma'am. Okay, it's, right now is the time to do anything we want to on this.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to see that brought up to 50,000,
We can do that.
or maybe even 75. Let's just put it back to what it was. Let's just say, yeah, let's just, I say 75. 50 or 75? 75.
You know, the county made a deal to completely not do away with that. And we charge a really high tax fees. So I like to charge, the high charges.
Yes, sir. It discourages them. I mean, if your business is doing that good and you're willing to do it,
Right. It means that they have the means to pay.
they do. Yes, ma'am.
So that's for the event fee or the business fee?
The annual.
The annual to 75,000?
Yes, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
And then the event fee will stay at 30?
30.
No.
So when you say new or newly acquired health permit,
A first-time business, regardless of of your gross annual volume sales, because you won't know that yet. So when you come in here and you're opening a brand-new business, it'll be $100 to get your health permit.
so then after that, it's based on the schedule of the inspections.
Mhm.
This may be covered somewhere else too, but when we had the parking lot at HTO, we let people come, especially during COVID, and trying to, they had their own, they'd
Like
make
an
dolls
event?
or they'd make wood carving, stuff like that. Do they still not have to pay a fee per month?
Yes, so they'll,
They still come and get the event application for.
They were just trying to
event.
make ends meet. It was a hard time.
And I think it would be good to do like events, weekly events, because I do have a vendor that's trying to set up like on the weekends at the man cave. I think that should be fine. We don't have that right now, but it would be fine to have them for that weekend. To set up like for the football games, they have that vendor set up there. And we do an adjusted fee just for that event or whatever it is.
So we wouldn't charge.
That it
them.
doesn't go towards our count or anything, it's just for a weekend event.
So he's asking, so we don't charge them at all then?
We do charge right now an event
how
event
much is that?
application. I think it's 300. For the event application, it's like 300.
That seems high.
Yes, which it gets waived if you're not charging the public to go in, if it's like a free event
for the public.
We waive that fee, if it's for a church, free.
Let's see, like coming up is the fall fair. And you have a lot of vendors come in, the individuals, and they're in there in the civic center. So are we going to charge them?
They pay, if they're selling food, they get charged a $75 temporary health permit so that they can get, the code can go out and inspect their area to ensure that they're up to code.
But the actual event application, are they charging, do they charge people to come in to the fall fair?
I don't know.
No, they
No.
don't.
And then they wouldn't pay the,
They wouldn't pay the event
No, 'cause it's a
application.
community event.
Mhm.
It's a community
We're not-
event.
But it's not through the chamber this year, it's through, I guess, an independent company, so do they have to pay the fee and then they, you know what, you get what I'm saying, like.
Like whoever's hosting pays the event
Yeah,
fee
I'm
and then the
thinking whoever's
vendors are.
hosting. Mhm.
Yes, so those don't get charged because it's open to the public.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So like going back to the parking lot, that's open to the public too. And they bring their stuff out, whether they make dog collars or they make dolls or whatever. I don't see why we should charge them anything.
And you're talking about the individual vendor? So as long as they're not making food, they're not being charged by the city. It's only
Okay.
the food vendors that get charged by the
That
city.
need the health
for the
permit
health
and the
inspection.
inspection.
For the health inspection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this says non-food vendor business that performs services at client locations, business, or residence is $300. So that would be if they've set up on somebody's parking lot, they have to pay a $300 fee. If they set up on La Tienda or Dollar General or selling their flags or whatever, they're supposed to pay a $300 fee, right?
for
And I believe
services.
that kind of like the sticker bus, Cindy?
No, because this is for
It's-
services.
Oh,
that perform services at clients' locations.
Car wash. That was for the car wash.
Is it
Because they're not, the
car
people are
wash
not
involved?
allowed to wash cars on public, like for example, out here in our parking lot, they're not allowed to come wash. So it's like a vendor's permit for them to go, like, kind of like house to house. If somebody's calling you for, or they do car washes, they can go over to the house
Oh, okay.
and do,
Like the mobile car wash.
like the mobile car washes.
Is that kind of like a mobile barber too? Would they do this?
So the mobile barber sets up at a certain location, it's still a vendor.
Even if they move week to week or? maybe
So they
so
come
often?
in, they're not allowed to move without coming to let us know and getting authorization from the property owner. And then we change the vendor permit to reflect the address where they've already brought the authorization for it.
Any other questions on page
Are
10?
you gonna go back to your sexually oriented?
I was. What did we say, the 75 for the annual fee and the business event fee? Any suggestions on that? I don't know if the annual fee, if the event fee should, I mean,
$30,000 for a one-night event, that's a lot of money to pay.
that's a lot of money.
You gotta make a lot of money to back that up.
Let's do 50 for the event fee.
50?
Yeah. They make a lot of money.
For an event, 75,000 for,
Yeah. Well, I mean, it doesn't sound very balanced, but then,
it's better than 30.
Okay, I guess I'm
Got
not
it.
clear on the $300, you know, for the non-food vendor. That seems high, the non-food vendor. So, an individual's trying to make extra money. They're not gonna make extra money for $300. So can we, what do y'all feel about that?
yeah, for the non-food vendor one,
Mhm.
what do you think? People's support?
Can we waive
Whatever
that?
fee you want us to change it to, we're open to whatever fee you want us to.
Can we
But
waive
you
it?
gotta remember that this is also like there's several mobile car wash places that will come to your house and wash your car. And so this is the fee that they
And
have
it
to pay.
discourages, I suppose, them from setting up, it would, I think, it would take away from the businesses that have paid the fees to establish their locations to, you know, stores and boutiques, et cetera, so I don't,
Now,
I
I
think
mean,
we should
if
charge.
La
I wouldn't wanna
Tienda
waive
wants to invite vendors out on their parking lot, who pays that? I mean, if they want to have an event in their parking lot, does La Tienda pay that event fee?
So-
And then they can charge vendors or not?
Yeah, that'll be between them, if they're gonna charge the vendors to set up on there. We'll still require the event application, because we do run that through our police department and make sure they know that there's gonna be an event and there's gonna be a lot of people at this location. But if they're not charging the citizens to show up, we don't charge them the fee. But,
So Randy, your people that would set up on HTO's parking lot, if HTO was having an event, they would let them know, but since it's open to the public, then there wouldn't be a fee.
then there wouldn't be a fee
Yeah,
for the
they're not
non.
charging for their spots. Like, for example, we're gonna have the National Night Out. We're having the vendors park out here to come and set up to sell lemonade, barbecue, whatever the case may be. We're not charging them a permit fee to come set up on the property. We
I think,
wouldn't,
yeah.
there
I
wouldn't
think
be an
when-
event.
it was- When they first started trying to do it, there was, somebody from the city said, yeah, you gotta pay for a permit fee.
Yeah, so they had to get an event application. They had to submit an event application. And then
Because the actual.
the HTO, the person hosting the event.
Whoever's doing it.
And then the only vendors that got charged at the city were the food ones. And that's because we send code to go
It may have to be the
inspect.
same way for the night out, if they're a food vendor, they have to have health permit.
They still get a health permit, but we don't charge a fee. They'll be out there to do an inspection and whatnot. on the, for it. Because that's for the city project, for the city's event.
I got all that noted. So did you still want to do something for the non-food vendor, the $300, Randy?
I'll waive it. Unless you all can clarify that a little bit more, better, you know.
Okay, so this would be, okay, like, there's 2 or 3 people that I know that have a car wash business. So they will come, you contact them, and they will come to our house and wash our car. So they have to pay a $300 a month fee, because they're doing a business.
Yeah, the service.
They're doing a service.
Ongoing.
It's a mobile service.
Yeah, yeah. So that's what this is, if it's non-food.
Yeah, if it's non-food.
Yeah, if we can clarify that, you know, like, and use an example as car wash. You know, just say ongoing, could be subject to this $300, but occasional, because they're not, you know, under the sales tax deal, occasional, they're not subject to sales tax.
No. So
But
did,
they do get a background check. We want to make sure that they still go through the process of, excuse me, they go through the process of making sure that we have people, they go through the background check to make sure that there isn't anybody that's got a background going to your property to wash your vehicle.
Mhm.
I mean, they still
Or
do the
set
whole
up-
process.
Or set
for
up
it.
any other services, so that could open up the box, I feel, to people saying, oh, I don't know, just different services just comes to mind in it. I get your point where we want to encourage people to do little side hustles and, not hustle, that's the wrong word, side projects and, you know, entrepreneur opportunities, but then it has to come through some sort of filter and make sure that it's a legal operation and it's not under this blanket of, hey, it's a service, well, you didn't say what kind of.
and then we do make sure that we check to verify that they are a legitimate business
I was
too.
gonna say they'd have a tax number. and that's
Yes,
how you
they'll have a
find that
tax
out,
number.
Is by having them come in and get a permit.
Yes, and then that's public information, so we usually run it and it shows if it's active, deactive, and
Or if it's a type of business that requires a certain type of certification, we can verify with the state that they have those.
that they have those licenses and.
Their
This could
licenses.
be like even like, let's say, I know it could maybe happen, like somebody, I don't know, cutting hair or doing nails or something, and it's not a food, but it's a service, they could, I don't know, slip
Like
through the cracks
tattoo,
somehow.
They'd have a certification.
Yeah.
And you have to have a license through TDLR to do that. So
Yeah.
that verification process takes when they come into us.
Yes,
Mhm.
that's good to.
And our
check up on
application
that stuff.
requires you fill out all that information so that we can verify. So did you want to waive or lower the fee?
Yeah, I'd like to waive it, but make it more clear, you know, where it does cover the car wash people possibly, and then, I haven't seen a booth out from the parking lot that does nails.
We didn't come back to
That
how
one's
I
it.
just feel like it's.
But that, is that a special, you have to get a special
Well, yeah, you have to
certification?
be-
You have to be licensed.
Yeah, you have to be licensed, but I feel that it's good for them to have to come and bring their certification
Yeah.
information to the city so
Okay.
that it could be.
And
If we can
something
build that in
was-
here, we can.
Something that was brought up when we were speaking about the master fee schedule, we were talking about considering staff's input, I guess their work on having to go through all these processes. Do we really want to waive fees if staff's actually gonna have to take the time to, like, why have it in our ordinance if we're not gonna, we're gonna be doing all this extra work and no fee, like, fees.
So,
Administrative fees.
I think Randy just wants to make sure that if someone's gonna have an event to help raise money for medical costs or Keep Pecos Beautiful or whatever it is, those people aren't charged a fee for a booth.
Is that really what you're after though, or is it just someone just trying to
To
make
make
a
ends
few
meet.
dollars on the weekend?
No, but
So for example, I don't know, this weekend, I don't know if y'all noticed at the rodeo grounds, there was a truck that was parked out there, a chair, just, you sit on the chair, and somebody walking around with a thing saying not free, haircuts. And I think $45 haircuts. Just a regular chair sitting out there cutting in the middle of,
And it was
no
legal.
tarp or anything. They have to be licensed to be doing that. they can't just set up to do it without having the TDO or license.
What about selling trees, just pulling up on the convenience store parking lot and says for sale with a trailer with trees?
It's a vendor.
Or the corner
It's a
corner
vendor.
that, and people report stuff like that. I'm sure you guys get calls all the time.
Oh, yes.
Well, that's
Today?
good. It gives them to be
That also,
able to come
that
in.
also.
Yeah.
But you know, we count a lot too if they're local, you know, if they live here. And, you know, food costs are going up and stuff and inflation. And people, you know, may be looking more to, you know, outside their regular salaries to make ends meet. And I don't think we should be charging them, especially the local ones.
We could waive the fee. I still like that the application, I would recommend that we still do the application process, just so we can make sure that they do the background check.
If you can- When they come in, if you can waive it, have the option to waive it.
And I will say, Mayor and Council, right now, Cindy is a permit director, and she can tell you that in the last couple months, she's heard it more than she likes, she is a permit director. She's a staff that has that. Has the experience and stuff on some of these items. If she determines that that a fee can be waived, she can waive the fee without having to come and bring it back to council and or come find the city manager to do it. She has that discretion. If we find out she's doing it wrong, she no longer has a job. But she does have that discretionary authority to do that, Randy, and Mayor and Council from that standpoint. So
I wouldn't fire her,
I mean, I think there should be some fee, I mean, just because it comes back to their time and everything. And, you know, what seems to you or to me or somebody else that, well, they're only making a few bucks on the weekend, you don't really know how much they're making. And so, again, maybe it comes back to, you know, some of these real small people that they may not even have a tax number, so you don't have a clue really what they're making. They may have an online business for all you know. I just think there needs to be something to make sure they get to City Hall and do what they should do.
And it could be a nominal fee.
On here then, if you can waive those, because I don't think we really need to know what they are making. You know, if they're willing to go out there, they live here, they're willing to go out there on a Saturday, all day, Saturday, say, you know, they're showing some initiative. And I think, you know, it's probably they're trying to make extra money.
I'll be honest with you, the majority of the people that come in that are from Pecos, they know what we require and they automatically come in if they know they're gonna be setting up in the weekend.
Yeah.
It's the people that come from outside of town that can do a quick stop, like the bonsai trees. They set up when we're closed or in the weekends. You've got for example, that guy that's cutting hair, that's 2 days in a row that they were set up until police department got called out. You've got the fruit that gets sold in the weekends. They sell peppers in the weekend. Those are the people that come in and wait to be told and run off. They already know. They just see somebody pulling up, and they just take off because they know they don't have the proper permit.
She even gets asked, where's the city limits, so they can set up right outside
You know, it's like the dog
the
catcher-
city limits.
catcher, you know, people know when they're off duty. And so we rotate that around a little bit where they've got different hours, and maybe the same thing with code enforcement. You know, not code enforcement, but permit.
But I feel by not charging the appropriate fees and not holding everybody accountable, it's like saying, well, it's making it harder for the people that are here to process the paperwork, saying you work different hours because they know how to go around the system, but instead of holding everybody accountable, it's like we're gonna make the employees and everybody that's trying to keep everything level and safe and legal. I don't like that idea of making it harder for them instead of just saying everybody needs to pay a fee to get the appropriate paperwork filed and make sure everything's legal.
And if they come on the weekend, then whoever you see them, you need to report them so code can go get them.
Yes. Correct.
Or
And
check them, make sure they've already got their permit.
And some of our own citizens, they know Cindy's number, so they know if they're paying a permit and they see someone.
Somebody, they're gonna go, get him there.
Yes.
Heavy race balloon, that's what he's doing.
No, I am.
Back and forth.
I'm taking notes. My last one is to wave.
I just want to make it fair, and I don't think we can judge whether they deserve it or not. And, you know, it's people, most of the people I would say, if he's willing to do that, need it. And so,
It's the construction workers also, let's not charge them permit fees because they need to build houses and it's their livelihood. Absolutely. But you have to
Go through the process.
go through the process.
Well, and I think if Cindy has the discretion to waive it, then we let her do that. And leave this as it is.
and for the ones that don't live here, get after them. But I'm concerned, you know, I want to help protect the ones that live here too.
Okay. Any other questions on page 10? 11 now? Mm-hmm. And
Out
that's,
the audience, there's 365 pages.
oh, sorry. No, we're almost done. I think we just have like maybe 2 big things to cover.
So no more inflatables?
So we kept going round and around with the inflatables, and of course Cindy will get to that later on the ordinance, on her ordinance as as she's amending that. You'll see this reflection in there on the inflatables. But we were charging for electricity and water. We don't have that access out there anymore, so they're usually on a generator, and we don't have water hookup for.
There's no water out there?
Not for them to put the water hose and connect. And then we don't allow the inflatables, and correct me, jump in at any time. We don't allow the inflatables on top of the area where we have irrigation system. There's a special area for
So we're
the,
talking just like the jumping boots, but nothing with water out there, is that correct?
yeah, this is all for the inflatables, all the jumping balloons.
Well, there's inflatables that also have water.
Mhm. Yeah, they're not allowed on top of the irrigation.
That's what I'm getting, because the
Irrigation.
park got messed up bad a few years back.
Remember, that's
I
where
definitely remember, it was terrible.
That's where we started to get down on it to make sure that it didn't happen that way anymore.
Okay, on page 12, we're cleaning up the livestock permit. That's what we've been charging annually, it's the $100 annually. And of course, we have a whole ordinance that reflects what that means. And in each of those ordinances, Cindy's gonna represent as well. It's gonna say to reference back to the master fee schedule, so we don't have to be changing those individually. The next,
Now, what does livestock permit entail? What does?
A horse,
so for example, if you have a horse,
goats.
yeah, the
Like
goats.
if somebody keeps their 4-H project, sheep or goats at their house.
So they have to have the proper spacing for it. I believe it's 500.
So when it comes to someone keeping goats for the livestock shows, there's an exception actually to keep them in their backyard until the show, so that they can prepare and work with the animals, the children. And then once the show is completed, and they've either sold their animals or at that time, the animals would then have to be placed in the proper area and with the proper square footage.
And I don't remember it exactly, but is that on our ordinance for later?
It is on our
Yeah, and it'll tell you like
ordinance.
500 feet from a residence, 1,000 feet.
And it's gotta be per animal.
Mhm.
They've gotta have the proper spacing for it, or square footage for it to be able to, for it to be in the back of the property. I think
It's 50 square feet from any residence.
50 square feet from any residence, and then that they have the proper spacing for it.
Okay, and then moving on to our municipal court fees, you'll see all the red in here. This is cleaning up and adding these fees inside our municipal court fee schedule. The majority of them on page 13. I do want to note that the reason these are all in here is because the city has to have an ordinance of these collections, of these reimbursement fees and fines in our ordinance in order to charge them. And of course, just because it's in here doesn't mean they're getting charged this. These are all at the judge's discretion. And that's it. That's all the changes. This is the first reading. I did note all the changes we discussed tonight, so I'll clean that up for the next meeting. Once approved, if approved, we'll have to still publish this in the newspaper, and then they won't go into effect until 10 days after the,
Is it just one publication?
I believe it is just, And if you all have any questions.
Any more thoughts? Not, I'll make a motion to approve the first reading of ordinance number 24-09-01 is presented.
Have a motion from Councilwoman Sills, a second from Councilwoman Portillo to approve the first reading of ordinance 24-09-01 is presented. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Let the record show the motion carries.
Thank you.
On to item F5, discuss, consider ordinance 24-09-02, an ordinance amending chapter 6, alcoholic beverages, section 6-2, license to manufacture, sell, distribute, etc. of the city code of ordinance. First reading, Sarah.
Hey, Mayor and Council, in your packets you will find a copy of this ordinance. So our ordinance currently states that anyone that has a license through TABC is required to come get a license here with the city. And in years past, the way we took care of handling that fee is whatever rate they paid TABC, we would charge them half of that rate to get a license here with the city. TABC recently implemented a fee schedule, so they limited what we can charge, and they kind of said this is your max. They actually lowered it. So in past, we could charge $300-400. Now it's about $75, $85. And they've also restricted if you have a health permit, we cannot charge a health and an alcohol permit. So they only have to pay their health permit. Yes. Yes. So this
Since they're able to sell alcoholic beverages, then we'll get more sales tax on that. So that's very big.
Yes, because about 98% of our alcohol permits are restaurants. Yes, I think we only have 3 vendors that are standalone stores. Yeah. Yes.
Sound like Instant Club or what?
No, so that's like Wild West Liquor and Western Package. And then, actually, I think those are the only 2 we have.
So where does the club fall in? It's not a restaurant.
Are you speaking like Freddy's Ice House or? So like Freddy's Ice House, they have a health permit because they have a food truck in the back. VIP, they have a kitchen, they sell food. So, yes. So this is just reflecting that our rates will not exceed what the state has set in place.
I'll make a motion to approve, ordinance 24-09-02 is presented.
I'll second.
Have a motion from Councilwoman Sills, a second from Councilwoman Trujillo to approve ordinance 24-09-02 as presented. All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Let the record show the motion carries.
Thank you.
Item F6, discuss, consider ordinance 24-09-03, an ordinance amending chapter 48 peddlers, solicitors, and internet vendors of the city code of ordinance. First reading, Cindy Fuentes.
Mayor, Council, Cindy Fuentes, Director of Permits. This ordinance is basically it's for us to remove the fees off of our Code of Ordinance, Chapter 48, and transferring it and putting it all into the master fee schedule. And that's the fees that we just discussed.
Make a motion that we, ordinance 240903.
I'll second.
I have a motion from Councilman Graham, a second from Councilwoman Seals, to approve ordinance 24-09-03 as presented. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Let the record show the motion carries. Item F7, discuss, consider ordinance 24-09-04, an ordinance amending Chapter 10, Animals, Section 10-220, permit to keep livestock in the city code of ordinance. First reading, Cindy Fuentes.
Mayor and Council, Cindy Fuentes, Director of Permits. This is the same thing for the ordinance. We're just removing the fees out of the Code of Ordinance, Chapter 10, and putting it into the master fee schedule.
I'll make a motion that we approve ordinance 24-09-04.
It is above named animals. Doesn't exactly name any animals.
On the ordinance, it does have a list of, I don't know if you have the ordinance and a copy of the ordinance? And it's really, it's that fee that we just removed for, that we're talking about the cats, the horse and goats and all that in the back of the property.
It says any person desiring to keep any of the above named animals, and that's animals.
So it's actually, what's presented here in this ordinance is only that one section.
We don't have all.
For the change fee.
Oh, okay, okay.
Do I have a motion?
Oh, what did you say?
Graham, okay. I have a motion from Councilwoman Trujillo, a second from Councilman Graham, to approve ordinance 24-09-04 as presented. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Let the record show the motion carries. Item F8, discuss, consider ordinance 24-09-07, an ordinance amending Appendix A, Article 2, Section 19, specific use permits of the City Code of Ordinance. First reading, Cindy Fuentes.
Mayor and Council, Cindy Fuentes, Director of Permits. If you, in your packets, you'll have a copy of the ordinance for specific use permits. We amended the square footage of the lots a while back when Donnie was here. And we amended it from having to have 6,000 required square feet to put either a new house or manufactured home. We amended and dropped it down to 5,000 from 6,000. So we're basically removing the 25% reduction on it because we've already amended and lowered
Because you've already done that.
the square footage.
So the minimum is 4,000?
So the minimum's 5,000. It went from 6,000 to 5,000, and that way they can still meet their setbacks. Before we had it to where you could reduce it to 2,500, but it was at the 6,000 square feet. So we're removing the 25% reduction since we've already dropped it down to 5,000 square feet.
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance 240907.
I'll second.
I have a motion from Councilman Graham, a second from Councilwoman Seals to approve ordinance 24-09-07 as presented. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Let the record show the motion carries. Item F9, discuss, consider ordinance 24-09-08, and ordinance amending ordinance 17-05-01, placing fees of commercial recreation apparatus in city parks. First reading, Holly Gerard.
Mayor, Council, Holly Jaraki, Community Services Director. In your packet is the ordinance referring to the fees that are now going to be removed from the master fee schedule, and this is what will be reflected on this ordinance.
software recreational vehicle parking fees?
No, ma'am. This is the apparatuses.
I'll second.
I have a motion from Councilman Graham, second from Councilwoman Seals, to approve ordinance 24-09-08. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Let the record show the motion carries.
Thank you.
Item F10, discuss, consider ordinance 24-09-05, an ordinance adopting the annual budget for the fiscal year 24-25, second reading. Heather Ramirez.
Line item by line item?
Sure. All the time.
I'm just kidding. This is the second reading to our annual budget that's effective October 1st of 2024, and it'll run through September 30th of 2025. If you have any questions. And we do have budget books ready for you all as well.
Anything changed from the last time?
There was a small decrease in our general fund, and that was due to, what was it, Charles? It
That
was
was due to a transfer, or there were donations that were coming in on 3 different areas, on the police department, parks department, and one other that were about 69,000. So we reduced the use of fund balance and reported in, showed put the revenue in there. So it's just reducing the amount of use of fund balance that you all authorized.
yes.
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance 24-09-06, second reading.
No. 5.
Sorry, what? 05, I'm sorry. Make a motion for ordinance number 24-09-05, adopting the annual budget for year 24-25, second reading.
I have a motion from Councilwoman Seals, a second from Councilwoman Trujillo, to approve ordinance 24-09-05 as presented. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Let the record show the motion carries.
Thank you.
Item F11, discuss, consider ordinance 24-09-06, an ordinance adopting the fiscal year 24-25 tax rate, second reading. Heather Ramirez.
Mayor and Council, of course, this is the second reading to adopting our property tax rate, which is set at .40683 per each $100 valuation. And if you have any questions.
Make a motion, we adopt ordinance 24-09-06.
I'll second.
You got it? Seals? I have a motion from Councilman Graham, a second from Councilwoman Seals, to approve ordinance 24-09-06 as presented. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Let the record show the motion carries.
Thank you.
Item F12, discuss, consider approving the allocation of funds to enroll Town of Pecos City staff in the Reeves County Recreation Center's Health and Wellness Initiative Program. Charles Lino, City Manager.
Mayor and Council, Charles Lino, City Manager. This is bringing back something that we talked about back in February, where we've been working on trying to get everything done with the rec center. There were questions back then, mainly by Councilman Arona, asking what the county did, and right now the county is covering the cost of the employees' membership with the rec. We didn't have any budget at the time, so he said, why don't we revisit this when we get into the new budget year? So I'm coming back asking you all, I think it's an additional incentive. I can tell you that we are putting, if council does approve this, we are putting stipulations to where you will utilize it a minimum of 5 times in 3 months, or you no longer have a benefit, and it's only available 1 time a year. So if you lose it, you've lost it for the year, and it's on you. The total exposure that we have, I'll say it that way, I guess it's not a good word, from that standpoint is about $42,000 a year, and that's if every single one of our staff decided to sign up and and participate in this program. And the economic benefit is getting our staff healthier, which potentially reduces our health insurance premiums, and if we get enough participation, it will give us a discount on our group health insurance. So I think economically, it's a very, very good incentive. It also, not that we're losing people right now just because of the rec center, but it also partners with them and gives them a little bit of, gets that relationship, builds more of that relationship. And I know that I've already went and done mine before this. If it's not done, I've still got to do it, but I'm going to be one of the ones that will have to make sure that I'm getting my visits in, because if not, I don't want to lose it, so.
So when we say visits, exactly what does that include?
The rec center, you have to go swipe your membership deal, your little tag that they give you, and the rec center is going to give us monthly reports showing who has come, who has swiped, who has visited, who has done.
Is it more than the smoothie shop?
Yeah, well, I think it's going to be, I can't say that for sure.
Because I don't really think that's going to be a health benefit.
It is not.
Well, it depends. So what
I don't know.
It's a meal alternative.
If you are.
That's what they use it for.
Yeah, if you are doing it to go get a smoothie, shame on you. And we can have that conversation,
I don't
but.
think I don't think you have to be a member to go get a smoothie, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
But I mean, are they swapping to get in and then that's all they do? Is what
It's visiting the rec, it's going in and maybe taking a few steps inside of the facility and looking at what's available. Maybe the first time they go in to get a smoothie, and the second time they go in and get on the elliptical, and maybe the third time they go in and go for a swim. I think it's a great incentive. They get them in the door.
I don't know, and policing it, I don't think we have the ability to police it. So I think we have to do it on a good faith basis. It's the only way that I think we could do
Make
it.
sure they do more than one push-up.
No.
Gets them in the door.
But any other questions related to it? I know that we said we would bring it back. We were at the beginning of the budget year.
Doesn't include family.
Well, no, and there's a program that Rec offered back then, and what they do is, and it's better than what they talked to me back when Dr. Purdy came in and talked to us, because he said you can have up to one secondary member at half price. The gentleman that came to present to us just the other day said, if you got 9 kids, all 9 can participate at half price. But the outside piece of it, the city is not obligated to bill. The rec center takes care of that. So it's going to be a direct deposit or direct debit from the rec center on all family members. The only one that the city will have to cover is for the employee, period.
Make a motion that we approve allocation funds to enroll and Reeves County Recreation Center, health and wellness program.
That's great. I think it's a great incentive, and it's hard making time for yourself and to go out and trying to be more active. I speak for myself, knowing that it's hard, but we have to make ourselves a priority, and I think this is it's awesome. I love it. We encourage everybody to go.
Yes.
And they have a good support staff too, that if you have questions or
Yeah.
need to get a program, they can come and help.
Okay, we have a motion from Councilman Graham, a second from Councilwoman Trujillo to approve the allocation of funds for the staff enrollment at the Reeves County Rec Center. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Let the record show the motion carries. Item F13, discuss, consider resolution 24-09-05R, a resolution amending resolution 140102R, a program for development incentives pursuant to chapter 380 of the local government code program.
Mayor and council, this is one that we've been talking about, and last time we talked about having that from reviewing the policy that we had, there didn't need to be any change, but Mayor and council asked that we attach a policy to it. I'm attaching the policy. It's very basic, but it kind of shows some of the direction that you all have been giving to us, and it's something that I just want to incorporate into this by reference, and start utilizing this as a guideline that we can give to anybody that's coming in for the Chapter 380 Economic Incentive Agreements.
So we would be able to select which one of those different.
Or a combination of it. And each agreement will be different because, and that's why I left it kind of generalized and generic, because I think there may be some businesses that come into town that they're going to generate enough sales tax to more than offset the abated taxes, especially for just the city's piece of the abated taxes. And so on those, it may make business sense to abate for a period up to 10 years. And that's the discretion of council. It's not something that we're going to just arbitrarily come in and say every single one of these needs to be 10 years at 100%, because I don't think they need to be, and I know just listening to the feedback from council, we don't want to.
20%.
Could be, absolutely.
3 years at 33%.
That's correct. Yes, ma'am.
Whatever.
Absolutely. And each one's going to be different, and I think that's what we have to really weigh the benefit and require some type of information and say, okay, this is a $5,000 or $5 million investment in the community, and they're going to generate $20,000, $100,000 of sales tax every year to the community. Okay, what's that worth to us? And if we get them to come, and if they have options to go here or go someplace else that's going to give them a 50% abatement, well, maybe we want them here, because if they're generating sales tax, we definitely want them in the city limits. So this is just an incentive that is used across the state.
So we have a starting point, we could put in this that says 3 years reduction through the third year reduction in abatement, but it can be modified depending on the circumstances. Somebody comes in and say we can collect 100,000 in sales tax. Can we prove that? Is there a way to verify that?
Well, I think the way that we handle that, my recommendation to you, and I mean Parker may have to give me some guidance, is we modify the individual agreement, because each individual applying for this is going to have to fill out an agreement, and we put some language in the individual agreement that says if you're not hitting this, then it can be reduced at the discretion of the council at any time, because this is not a guarantee on any of this. But I think we build some language into the document that gives us the discretion to get some feedback or measurement back in order for us to assess the benefit to the community. But I think that each individual agreement is going to have to dictate that. I think if we try to build it into an ordinance or a policy, it's going to be voluminous, and it would be crazy to try to do that.
And it says here that this policy is not meant to be a guideline. This council has the authority to make decisions not included in this law.
Absolutely. And that was intentional so that it's discretionary. These are guidelines just to give people kind of an idea of what may be available. But council may say, this is the best thing since the oil company came in. And maybe we do want to give them 100% for 10 years. Council gets to do that. Or you know what, we want to do 7 years because 7 years is where the best return is. Then we do a 7-year agreement. There's nothing that says we have to do 3, 5, 10.
These are just examples of how we can do it.
Yeah, the only thing that we're putting in this policy is that we cap it at 10 years. I don't want to do anything more than 10 years.
You've got the 10-year cap. Somebody come in and looking. I guess I'm looking for just a little bit of teeth, maybe or can we put, starting at 3 years, no longer than 10 years, discretion, or, I don't know. I like it, but I didn't know if there's a way to say, somebody could read it and
I think my concern is if they are initially looking at this, they see 10 years, 100%, that's the first line that they're reading, and that's what they're gonna think they're gonna get. And then they're gonna be upset when we say, no, we're only gonna give you 33% reduction every time. Maybe stated, it can be any increment up to 10 years or something like that.
Okay, we could do that.
I think this is gonna give them false hope, that it's always gonna be that.
I see what you mean, how it says up to 10 and 100%.
We've got a floor and we've got a ceiling.
It can be 0 to 10.
You think a 3-year floor? Okay. I can modify that abatement policy for that. But like I say, the thing that's going to give us the teeth will be the individual agreements. Each individual agreement, and those are individually signed that have to be brought back and approved by council.
So you have another document that.
There's another document. This is just our policy.
Policy, another document show.
This kind of starts the discussion about the possibility.
It does. And then I think there's a 13-page document that we have that's an individual abatement agreement that has to be entered into, and that has all of the details in it, as far as what the estimated, or what the value of the property is at the time, what they're telling us based upon whatever documentation they've given us, and then it starts with the terms of the abatement.
And do they have the financial back, you know?
We can put something in there on that. Yes, sir.
I like that idea too. That you have to be sure they actually have the financial backing to do the project.
Do we want to see that through financial statements, or do we want to see it through bank letters?
Yes. Both. Yeah, and it's non-transferable.
It is not transferable. Yeah. And when I'm talking about bank letters, I'm talking about bank letters of credit. Because is a letter of credit going to replace a financial statement, or do you want to see financial statements and a letter of credit?
Yeah.
Because some companies may be financially solid enough to where they don't need a bank letter of credit.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Either or, I guess.
And or something, yeah.
And our letter of credit has to be kind of detailed.
For the project.
For the project, we'll finance up to this amount.
Yes, sir. I would agree. Yeah, I think it has to be targeted strictly for the project. It can't be just a letter of credit from the bank, because a lot of people can get that and already have that letter of credit spent before anything's, they're coming to us. So, yes, sir, I would agree. We can bring it back with the modifications.
Or just with the noted modifications, whichever way.
We'll still need to approve the modifications. Not to approve the modifications.
I'll make a motion to table item number F13 for issues.
Yes, ma'am.
I have a motion from Councilwoman Seals, a second from Councilman Graham to table this for additional comments. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Let the record show the motion carries. Item F14, discuss, consider entering into Chapter 380 tax abatement agreement with Hector Pena, HP Construction, Charleston, and no city manager.
Mayor and council, I respectfully ask that this one be postponed also.
That is a motion.
I'll make a motion to table item number 14.
I have a motion from Councilwoman Seals, a second from Councilman Graham to table item F14. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Let the record show the motion carries.
Thank you.
Item F15, discuss, consider setting a date for trick-or-treat activities. Lisa Tarango, Chief of Police.
Mayor, Council, Lisa Tarango, Chief of Police. So this year our thought is there's no more curfews. because they're not legal any longer. So we thought you would consider doing it actually on the Halloween day. Looks like it's going to be a long day of Halloween events anyway, so I think this would just kind of end the evening if we did it on the actual Halloween night. We normally do it from, I believe, 6 to 9 p.m. City Hall's going to have their Halloween stuff from 4 to 7 p.m., so it would just kind of run straight along with that in the evenings. Yes. There are some communities that do it on the Saturday, but there's, the majority we found do it on the actual Halloween night.
Kind of seems silly to do it in November.
Yes, ma'am.
And the 26th is a little early.
Little bit early, yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
So I know there's certain ones that usually do certain activities, usually like on the Saturday, so it's just up to them whether they do it on that Saturday or whatever.
Sure, I would think so. If they want to, like an event somewhere, I would assume they would want to do it like on a weekend.
Normally does their trunk or treat.
Yes, ma'am. And that one's usually, I believe, like the Saturday before that we normally do it. Yes, ma'am.
So I think having it on the actual day will maybe get people off the streets earlier because it's a school night.
Well, I think if we do it by about 9 o'clock, and it's kind of crazy, but you'll see the west side of town is the majority place where everybody goes. In your backyard, yes, ma'am. And I think so. You know, we put everybody out on patrol that night, so we have lots of extra security that will be in those areas anyways.
So we're just setting the date, not the time.
That's correct.
I'll make a motion to approve October 31st as Pacific Activity Night.
Second. I have a motion from Councilwoman Sills, a second from Councilwoman Trujillo to set trick-or-treat activities for October 31st. All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Let the
Thank you.
record show the motion carries. Item F16, discuss, consider canceling or rescheduling the Thursday, October 10th, 2024 regular city council meeting. Sarah Nichols.
Hey, Mayor and Council, due to the upcoming scheduling of our annual TML conference, we will not have a quorum present at our October 10th meeting. So I wanted to ask if y'all would be willing to either cancel or reschedule, or kind of just leave it in the air pending as needed.
So we probably don't want to do it on the 31st.
No.
We bumped it all 2 weeks. So it's either move it up to the 3rd, which is just a week away, or 17th and 24th. We want to have back-to-back meetings if you think it's necessary. So our regular meeting's on the 24th, so if we need one on the 17th, y'all would have to let us know.
Yes, ma'am, I think we just do a special meeting.
Well, okay.
Because we can schedule it right now on both.
I mean, if it's replacing a regular meeting, does that make it a special meeting?
No, it's rescheduling a regular meeting.
Rescheduling it right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could, I mean, if the council wishes, we could do it on the 17th.
Maybe shorter meetings. Up to y'all. No, the 17th and 24th.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to reschedule our regular meeting on the 10th to the 17th.
I have a motion from Councilwoman Seals, a second from Councilwoman Trujillo to reschedule our October 10th meeting to October the 17th. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Let the record show the motion carries.
Thank you. And then executive session was for Hector Peña's item, if needed, but since it was tabled, I don't think I need to go.
So we don't need
We do not have any.
nothing else?
No, ma'am.
Then do we have items for our next council meeting?
F4 through F9, and then F13 and F14.
F4 through F9. F, what, 13?
13 and F14.
That would be the second reading.
Yes, ma'am.
Anything else?
Can we get an update on Cyclone? Just, I don't know,
A general-
I guess, yeah, general update, activities, calendar.
Yes, ma'am.
On Tuesday, October 1st at 12 noon at the Reese County Annex with the Civics Chamber of Commerce. Tuesday.
Anything else? Okay, then we are adjourned and it is 7:24 p.m.
Perfect.
Some have good stuff.
No, I just have to sit here and sign on this. Somebody save me a sandwich. I know, we sat out on the porch for our coffee this morning. I had to put my bathrobe on.
Yeah, you're having to get rehab software or something that we use with all those 6-month or annual permits.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
We have software.
I did that day before yesterday. It was so nice. I opened the back door and opened the windows and I said, Kim, not this rich, turn the air conditioner on. Like, okay, I will not be at either city I'm going to Ken now. I'm going to be gone 3 weeks in a row.
Are you talking?
Especially right now with
Personally signed.
My niece Parker.
Make sure she does these. Yeah, so I'm like, you know what, no. And I told her, I will, let me know.
I'll come bring water back.
TML, Las Vegas, and then. Oh, how before the choir and Maria does, I mean, everything, we had our April vacation, we had our week vacation, we had our exercise goes to Las Vegas, and then I was coordinated. That's what I did. He said, I can get tickets. They're right here.
Oh.